Hello guys, we'll be beginning the session in a few moments once we gather a good strength of audience. Hello everyone. Can I see how everyone is today? Can we put like today's emoji for the day on the chat box? So if you're happy, just put a happy face. But you can put anything else, like a starry-eyed face. Keep them coming. I really want to see how everyone is, what mood is everyone today. Which years are y'all from? I can see a lot of my first year friends over here. And yeah, there are a few second years also, third years also. Nice. Arpita says she's from first year. Who else? Come on, keep them coming. I want this talk to be more of a conversation than of a talk because most of us know each other over here, so we can actually have a conversation. Yay, okay. Karen and Amana from FE. Come on, keep them coming. Okay, how many of y'all know what Flutter is? How many of y'all already have a little bit of background knowledge about it and have come over here to know a little bit more? Or, you know, okay. Anyone knows a bit about Flutter, what it is in one line? Okay, so no worries if you all don't know about it. Today's session is all about knowing Flutter. And understand what are its industry applications, what are its job prospects, even which course is the best in the industry, so that you can start a Flutter development career. So you'll get a comprehensive knowledge about Flutter today. Okay, so Flutter Festival is basically the entire month of February and March. We call it Flutter February. And how many of y'all were a part of 30 Days of Cloud with us? 30 days of Cloud or 30 Days of Android? Anyone? Yep, Android Study Jams. So it's very similar to Android Study Jams, and it's basically the equivalent of Android Study Jams of Flutter. So let's begin. I think all of y'all know me already, but since a bit of formality, I need to introduce myself. I'm Vipula. I'm a second-year computer engineering student. I'm a product strategist, a UX researcher. Basically, I research how interfaces should be made and how humans interact with machines. Other than that, I'm a podcaster and I'm a huge girl entrepreneurship advocate. I believe all girls should have an entrepreneurial drive and should motivate themselves and take their own decisions about their careers and their lives in general. Moving forward, what is Flutter? Yeah. So, how do we define Flutter? Is there anyone still in the audience who knows a bit about Flutter in one line? Before I start all about it. Come on, don't shy away. Okay. So Flutter is Google's UI toolkit for building beautiful, natively compiled multi-platform applications from a single code base. That's the Google definition about Flutter. Now, Flutter in simple language is just an SDK. You know Oracle, right? Oracle is the SDK for which language? Guys, this is
SQL?
SQL, Java, and what else? I've mostly used Oracle for Java. So just like Java is the language and Oracle is the SDK for it, the software development toolkit for it. Dart is the programming language, and Flutter is the toolkit with which we build applications. So there's no single developer for Flutter, just the way C++ was developed by Stirrup. There's no single developer, no single company that developed Flutter, but it's an open source. A group of people in Google developed Flutter so that they have another option to build Android applications from. So before Flutter, this is how projects were built. A single project was built in different code bases for different applications. For example, if I wanted to run a project on Android and I wanted to run the same project in iOS, then I had to write different code bases. But after Flutter, I could use the same code base and run the same programs on different platforms. You got it? Got the concept of Flutter? Anyone wants me to repeat it? Throw in a thumbs up. Or Okay. So for Aditi, Flutter, like how we used C++, right? So we wrote C++ on Visual Studio, on Visual Studio Code, and we compiled it. That was the software development toolkit for it, the SDK for C++. Same way, Flutter is the SDK, the toolkit for the language Dart, with which we can make various applications. Okay. Now these applications we can run on several platforms. It's a cross-platform language, but we can deploy this project from a single code base. You don't need to write different projects for the same application. Next, who should learn Flutter? Is Flutter for me? Most of us are first year or second year students. Then should I be investing time in learning Flutter aside from my regular studies? Because there are so many other technologies out to learn. So here are the small tips that I would like to give. Learn Flutter only if you're a Java programmer, a web developer, a designer, or an open source enthusiast in general. Why? Because the SDK or the Dart language is based in Java. So if you have a background in Java or you have studied Java in college, you are at a better position to learn Flutter than the ones who have not. Web developers, because web developers are the best, who they already have experience learning this language, and you know, having Flutter is an added skill to them. Designers, because Flutter is a UI toolkit at the end of the day, and learning Flutter gives that an added advantage on their resume. And open source enthusiasts. Now, why open source enthusiasts? Because Java or Flutter is an open source project. So that's why when you can directly contribute to Flutter's own code base. Got it? Next. So what are the job prospects with Flutter? Why should we be learning Flutter? Even if you're a Java developer, even if you're a designer, why do you care for Flutter? Now, Flutter is a DevRel, it's a DevRel language. Anyone has heard of developer relations teams? Anyone? DevOps? DevOps is fairly simple now. It's a, how do you say, a keyword now in tech. DevOps people? Anyone? Anyone has heard of DevRel teams or DevOps teams? Okay. So DevOps means developer operations. So DevOps teams make developers' life easier by making efficient documentation and efficient tools so that they can use these tools faster. And DevRel teams are developer relations teams who they manage uh, they manage the workflow between product managers, developers, and marketing people. So Flutter is basically used by DevRel teams. Since it's a UI language, developer relations teams can correlate more to these job prospects. Now, here are some job profiles that I have thrown in from Google, but when you check on LinkedIn for Flutter developers, you'll find so many job postings for Flutter developers. It's basically very similar to Android, but much simpler. So over here, it's a developer relations engineer, technical writers, software engineer working on the Flutter code base, making edits to Flutter libraries. These are all the kinds of jobs that you can apply for once you're a master of Flutter. Anyone, any questions here? Anything that's not understood? Come on, I want it to be more of a conversation rather than me just speaking. So you can ask me any doubts. Okay, moving on. Okay, Flutter features. What are those special features that make Flutter the what it is right now? Why do we choose Flutter over Android or Flutter over Java when they already exist? Also over Kotlin. Kotlin is such a beautiful language. If I'm a Kotlin developer or if I'm a Java developer, why should I go for Flutter? Only because of its dev tools, its cookbook, hot reload, editor support, and performance profiling. Now, these are all Flutter's features. What are dev tools? Again, dev tools are the DevOps that Flutter offers. Cookbook is, is a compilation of all the things, all the functions that you might need while writing an app. So anyone has built any sort of projects over here in coding, and they have in any language they have coded a project. Come on, no wrong answers here. Just come up and speak about your experience. Anyone? Aditi, would you like to try? Okay, so how does anyone build a project? Anyone? No, I'm saying no wrong answers. I'm not going to move ahead if until you'll not answer me this question. How does one build projects? What are the steps in building a project? Aman, Arpita, Austin. Yes, we need a source code. What else do we need building projects? IDE. Okay, Aditi, in a source code, what do we need? What are the components of it? We build features, right? What do you write in the source code to build features? Functions. Okay, that's what I wanted. Functions. So cookbook is a compilation of all the functions that you may need while developing a project. So if you want to import an image, there is a function written for that. You want to scan a graphic, there's a function written for that too in Flutter. All you need to do while writing your project is just import that from cookbook. Hot reload is an IDE again, which helps you trial your project. So if there is any error, if there is any better way you can write your code in, Flutter tells you there and then. And you can try it multiple times. It's very easy. Editor support is just like in Visual Studio Code. It gives you, it tells you where the errors are very quickly, and it's really fast. All of this then leads to your performance profiling, which means it really builds up your uh, project profile in a very good way. So what are the advantages of Flutter over the other languages? Over here, I've just mentioned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But anyone knows any other language, any other web development or Android development language? Come on, don't shy away. These are easy questions. I expect an answer. Any other web dev language other than HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Throw them in the chat box. Okay, Android development languages. Even the ones that we have mentioned in the session can do. What do you all know about of this? Kotlin, yes, Kotlin. Anything else? TypeScript, okay, yeah. Have you all heard of React? Anyone has heard of React? Give me a show of hands if you all have heard of React. Yeah. Arpita and Aniket have heard of React. Anyone has heard of Angular? Nice. Anyone has heard of Material UI? These are all Google technologies. So if you all want to really dive in to learn Google tools and Google technologies, these are some buzzwords that you all really need to learn and research upon and become proficient in. So what's the advantage of Flutter over all of these languages? It's that it's cross platform, it's multi functional. So if you want to write a project in HTML and CSS for Android and for iOS, you will need to make different code bases. But for Flutter Web, it's just one code base you need to write on Dartpad. So the on the surface on which you write is called Dartpad. This makes the app more flexible, more productive, and beautiful. Why flexible? Because the dev tools make you super efficient, you as in the coder, super efficient and productive. Beautiful because you can give any sort of UI for the app. So it's not a compromise for your designers. You can make really beautiful and native apps in them. Next, how and where is Flutter used in the industry? So anyone who already knows about Flutter use cases, you know, there are a few over here mentioned. Wait. Okay. So what is this symbol for? Anyone knows this symbol on the right? On the left, sorry. AdSense. Yes, Google Ads. So this symbol is for Google Ads, and Flutter is used in the tech stack for Google Ads. Well, how about this? Anyone knows what's this? It's again a Google app, and I really recommend that you all check out this app because it's great for learners like us. It's Google Crowdsource. Now, Google Ads and Google Crowdsource are both free apps by Google, and Flutter is used in their tech stacks for importing images. Now, in Crowdsource, what we basically do is upload images and show your support for things like Android development and web development. So if you want to learn something new, or just if you want to gather crowd support for any social cause, Source is the app for you. Then again, it's multi-platform. You can have it on Android, on Xamarin, Apple, on React, because of which it becomes high performance, scalable, and functional. So, which is the best course in Flutter? How many of y'all are motivated to learn Flutter now after knowing all of its advantages? Anyone wants to learn Flutter? Nice, Arpita. Yay, we have one person. Nice, all enthusiastic FEs. Nice. Okay, so the best place to learn Flutter is the Flutter docs. Just a sec. Yeah. This is the best place you can learn Flutter from. And just in case you all want to see the Flutter website, let me share my screen again. Yes. So since Flutter is an open source project, you'll find a lot of documentation for it. Flutter was invented just 4 years back, but it has gained so much popularity between the Android communities and the web communities that now they have a full-fledged documentation on so many platforms, whether it's Android, iOS, web, Xamarin, they have everything. So if you go away and just have a tour of this Flutter Docs website, you'll have you'll have small videos for whatever you want to know about Flutter. So do have a look at this web page if you are interested in Flutter. Also, there's a course on Udemy for Flutter. And yes, this is far by the best course that I have come up with. Just a second, let me show it to you. Yes, so this is again the best course you can say. Right now it's 3,500, but maybe you can check it out on Udemy Black Friday and you'll get it for 700. Yes. And yeah, they'll teach you everything right from designing in Flutter to how to edit in Flutter. Yeah. Coming up next, we have what kind of support does Flutter provide? Now, was an open source, but now it is being owned by Google. So, what kind of support does Google provide for Flutter? Okay, so can anyone tell me why support is required in any language? Why is there community support required? Any coder over here who would like to answer? Come on, you guys are so enthusiastic. Karen, Chaitanya, Dhanashri. Divya. Why is community support important in any language? For handling errors? Yes, that's one part. What else? Why do you need support while coding in any language? Okay, you need support because you will need to know the best practices, since that you will get to learn from only from experienced people what are the right things and what are the wrong things. Imagine you are a beginner in Flutter and you want to really get started. How will you get to, and you want to make a project, how will you get to know how to make a project? Only when you know how to name variables and do the really basic stuff. You will have to speak to someone, right? That's why Flutter support is important. Community support is important. So let me just show you a few pages where you can go for support. Okay. So you can come over here. This is you can just type in Flutter Community for so that this page just pops up, and you can see all of the things that Flutter does for its developers. You can attend a community meetup where you will get to know other Flutter developers in Goa, in India. Get connected with them and learn what they do. You can also become a GDE. Once you start climbing the learning curve, once you become an expert, you can apply to become a Google developer expert and become a leader and support the Flutter ecosystem. You can become a technical writer and edit the Flutter code base itself, or you can contribute to these docs. And if you're a woman who is interested in Flutter, there's a special program called Flutter Stars. You can join this program and get advantage. You get career mentorship and a lot of other advantages. So that's why community is important. You can attend events and also get to know a bit about the Google culture from attending such things. So also, it's very important to know at what edition or at what version the language is. So Flutter right now is in its 2.8 language, 2.10 language. So it's best to know that what's new in Flutter, what you need to know, what you not need to know. And the best places to learn about anything tech, the authentic places are its Twitter pages. So maybe you can just check these out. Maybe you can take a screenshot of this slide of mine and follow all of these pages to know the best news, the most authentic news about Flutter. All of these, I've made sure that all of these pages are genuine and they are owned by Google. So you have an insight about what's actually going on. So right now, there's a Flutter puzzle hack challenge, and if you want to join it, you can just sign up for at google.flutterhack. See, there's something called Flutter plus Windows, so they have released support for Windows as well. Yep, we come to the end of the session. These are my socials. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or you can just shoot me a mail. Uh, Anyone has any questions regarding the session? Anyone wants me to explain anything again? Any particular slide? Rizan, Rohan, Roshan, Saili, Saish. Nice. Okay, so should I do a pop quiz then? Anyone ready for the pop quiz? Pop quiz on Flutter? Okay. Actually, it is very much related to the session, Karen. Firebase is Google's backend, you can say. So it can, if when you attach Firebase to to Flutter apps, it really takes care of all the backend. So you really don't need to worry about how to, clean the data. And all of the data analytics part of it. So Firebase really takes care of all of the backend so that you can then design the front end for it. Making that make sense, Karen? Anyone else? Any other doubts? Anyone wants me to explain anything again? I can explain it right now. Now is the time. Otherwise, we can call it a wrap. Okay, how many of y'all are a part of the GDSC community? Of the community pages, like how many of y'all got the email today that today is the session? And how many of y'all joined through the WhatsApp group? Got the mail. Nice. Okay. Okay. So I want all of y'all to be a part of the GDSC community because you get more advantages from this. You get latest news from by being a part of the GDSC community. You can be part of other communities also, like Women Tech Makers and Google Developers Groups, which is for the professionals. So you can transition from this community to that community once you have reached that skill level. So I really want you all to be a part of it. So here's a small quick demo that I wanted to show all of you guys so that you all know where you all need to register. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a mock example that I have I have logged in, but you'll need to do this for PCCE. So here's the page that you need to go, and you need to RSVP. Once you RSVP, they'll ask you for all of your information, whether you want to be a part of the GDSC program, at what skill level you are, what are your technical interests. And based on all of this information, Google will give y'all learning opportunities like if you want to be a DSC lead, or if you want to give a talk, or if you want to attend a session based on your technical interests. And then you need to submit the form, and 48 hours before the 48 hours before the event, you'll get a mail regarding the event. So really, I really encourage y'all to be a part of the community. uh, Being a part of the WhatsApp group is great and fine, but y'all are missing a lot of resources by not being a part of the community. So do check in into this and let me know how many of y'all have been a part. So thank you guys. It was great delivering this talk to y'all. Do join our Discord channel, and yeah, do follow our LinkedIn pages, our Insta page, our Twitter page. We all of the talk sessions updates are always posted over here. Thanks for attending, and in case of any doubts, do let me know. Yeah. Thanks, Karen. Okay, before we log out, I would really like a huge snapshot of today's session. So anyone who can turn on their camera, their videos, please do turn on. Really wanted this. How many of y'all love this part of the event, the ending? Turn on, people. Okay. Roshan, Aditi, Kanchan, Shreya, turn on. I don't want it to be a selfie. Okay. I want it to be a group session. Okay. So we have Aditi. Yes. Just another one. Yep, we have Kanchan also now. Smile, Kanchan. Yeah, Gaurang. Now everyone is turning on. Nice, nice. It was great to get to know all of you all. Pratham, Aman, Shreya. Okay, I have a lot of snaps now. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for attending today's session. Do let me know if you all have any doubts. Yep. Thanks, Nate.